Welcome everybody to TemTeam's Cup May edition here. Me being a Pepega don't know how to put in right things here, but let's forget about that right now as they are already in game here. But let me introduce quickly here Jeb, my dear friend. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Jaentan. I've been doing fine. I'm really excited for this match between Smvid and Rishi. It's a very important match, specifically for Rishi, because if Rishi takes this 2-0, that means that he will qualify for the top 8. But if Smvid manages to take a single game off of Rishi, then it is all over for him. And well, Smvid has been showing some heat in the past few days, even managing to take a game off of Ali, who is is in a comfortable first place in that group. So I think Rishi might be sweating a little bit here.
Oh yes, like when I were expecting his game versus Cielo, like he really showed up a great game and really expected like out of nowhere. So it's going to be fantastic to see if he can continue with this streak with getting actually a couple of few points in the last week here. As we can see right now that we're having Gallus banned on the SMVid side and the Kino on the Richie side. Well, Richie decided picking up Naga here. Like, if we take a quick moment and look over the SMVid lineup here and see, yeah, I mean, Naga's always like a good choice into this lineup. Like, there's a lot of times that is fairly fast there. Of course, we have the Calabis that now we picked up that. Of course, a slow 10, but do Richie have what it takes to taking out this Calabis?
So yeah, SMVid has a pretty fast team with Ukama, with Madrid, with Barnshi, and with Koish, of course. But there's a little bit of a slow subset of the team with Calabis and to a certain extent Diodoro. And that Calabis, it felt like bait, but Rishi doesn't really have anything to deal with Calabis aside from Valorant. And look at what this is. This is double Calabis opener. This is the straight up double Calabis. That Naga has to dip as soon as possible. Luckily, Rishi does manage to pick up the Valorant, and Valorant does do very good into Calabis. But SMVid manages to pick up two very vital TemTeam for his team, hovering the bans now, and there's several good bans here, of course, and it goes for the Gyalis, which is always solid. On the other side, the Luma Moderate, the Flax Pig, just gets insta-banned.
So we won't see any Crystal Deluge here, which is kind of sad. But from last time I saw him, I wasn't able to catch any Crystal Delusion, but we saw like the tiniest glimpse of it. It did probably one thing, and it died immediately because of the 4 times. But I mean, Madrid have actually been more of a solid team now with this particular patch.
Yeah, Rishi has an okay team with against the moderate with Volvi and Mashuk and Gyalis and even Yalar, but still not wanting to let that Crystal Deluge go through, which is a very very potent tool. As Smvid picking up the Barnshi and Diodoro, while Rishi picks up that Mashuk and the Volvi. So there's two more aggressive options left for Smvid in the Koish and the Ukama. And both would be both would be pretty painful pickups because the entire lineup of Rishi is just good against water. So we just take the one Temtem that has another typing aside from water. So going with the Koish.
And this is the first game out of the 2 between Rigi and SMV. Let's dive directly into the match here and let's take a look on what can we expect from the first turn here. What can SMV do counter versus what can Rigi do here?
Yeah. So there is absolutely no way that this Naga is staying in. There is 2 Calabuses staring it down. That is terrifying.
Absolutely.
Even with the Vola there's no way a Vola with Feather Gatling is gonna kill a Calabus in one shot. I doubt even a double in would kill a Calabus. So this Naga has to dip. What that does mean is it probably goes into Mashuk, but actually they stay in. Strangle comes out as Smvid swaps out the Calabus, and I was wrong. The Naga stayed in. Barnshi swaps in as well. Oh wait, Strangle goes before swaps. I have to eat my words. Valorant goes out. Naga does stay in. Actually, it's a wild turn of events. And Beta bursts the Mimid, and Barnshi comes in, and so a lot happened, right? Valorant getting strangled was massive, but it swapped out.
So
So that Strangle was pretty much useless because, well, that was painful. There's still a Calibis staring down that Naga, so that's good. We have a Barnshi now, but Barnshi's staring down Ragnet.
yeah, but you have though to remember yourself that it was not the Calibis that stayed on the board that strangled. So this Calibis can't do anything particularly.
Yeah, exactly. So the Naga staying here that was a wild call from Rishi. Staying in with Naga against two Calabises.
That is absolutely wild. And also, like, I hope that as a vid, realizing that if you go with Strangle and hoping that Valorant's staying there, I mean, that would have been such a good position for him. But strangling now and see the Valorant swapping out, I feel like that was a
Yeah,
kind of that was rough though.
it was really rough, and I do applaud Smvid because I really like the play. It's just the Rishi just went hard. So Koish comes in. This is the only TemTeam on the team that doesn't um, get super effectively hit by an Electro Punch. But that means it just gets double in, and Koish will just die here, straight up, to a double in Beta Burst plus Electro Punch. And this is where Ragnet becomes really strong because it's just everything on SMFit's team is weak to Electric. So this might be a quick one, Jaentan. It might be Electro Punch every single turn because of the Seed Aura. It is a pretty fast, well, Electro Punch.
You have to remember ourselves that with this change of this patch that you only
Yes,
have
it
this
will
aura for
drop.
2 turns.
Yes, it will. Is it 2? I thought it was 3. But if it's 2, then it dropped, right?
No, 4.
Oh wait. Oh, it's 4 turns total. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Then it will. There will be one more turn of the Seed Aura. Psy Search comes out. Mimid, as the Calibis, takes a good chunk. There comes the Electro Punch. Doesn't quite take it out because of the mucus. Toxic Ink hitting the Naga. And look at how tanky that is. Oh
Indeed.
god. That barely took anything, and because of that reactive file, it healed back up, and it's at 37 or 38%. So even if he had double end on turn 1, he would have been sitting there with 38%.
Yes.
That Naga's quite fat. There's that has to be quite a fat Naga. I don't believe that's just HP, right?
I mean, that has to be some kind of bulk, as you're saying, that mostly Nagas doesn't even take that a lot of hits here. But we do see the Strangle, and we see the Tank landing on separate temps here, trying to do as much damage they can do before, well, separate temps may choke.
No. And that Strangle was so unfortunate as well, as it was a good play, but Naga overexerted from its own Beta Burst, so the Strangle doesn't matter for next turn. Charged Iron Fillings taking out the Mimid, or the Calibis Mimid. But this one is gonna be over pretty quickly, I think, as that Ragnar is just continuing to lay down the terror with its electric moves. There's the Adoro, so at least something that's good against Naga again, but once again, something that does not appreciate electric moves, let alone physical electric moves.
Yeah, that Adoro probably getting just a single hit and it will be demolished and probably sent into the galaxy, and we won't ever see this Adoro again.
Yeah, it's... Man, this is so unfortunate if that is the only thing you can do, because the other TemTem that he has is the Barnshi. And we all know what happens when Barnshi gets just sparked by a carpet even. But Rishi saves the Ragnar. It was pretty low on stamina. First one with Gust coming out, Naga dying, Valorant taking a little bit of damage, not too much. Toxic Ink comes out onto the Valorant again. Valorant dropping to 73%. No Toxic procs because of that Toxic typing on Valorant. But yeah, this seems very rough. Rishi sends out the Mashuk. I mean, he can just send out stuff now, right? Mashuk doesn't want to eat mental moves. But Calibis can't really threaten either Valorant or Mashuk. It's kind of just useless here. But what are you gonna do? You don't want to swap in your Barnshi and just take free damage, because Barnshi is important. Pjep comes out, Adoro eats a -1 defense. Beta Burst comes out onto that Mashuk. Mashuk will take a decent chunk, a big chunk actually, 55%. Mashuk carrying double screen, but and that Feather Gatling almost taking out Adoro. So okay, this is a Strangle I really like.
That Strangle actually really giving the Smvid at least a turn to might be able to do some adjustments here, but like I mean, I kind of want to see the if now this Adora running with the Psychic Collab. I want to see that happen, but when it's already so low, it's so like you can't really use it.
No, it would have died. It got P-jabbed first. It would have been P-jabbed. Oh, it didn't even get P-jabbed again. Calibus gets P-jabbed, and Smvid gets a free swap into Banshee, but I doubt that will be enough. A full health Banshee is a terror to deal with, but Rishi just has a very healthy team left, and keep in mind there's still that Reignat in the back, and I doubt a Banshee will Oko a Reignat with anything.
I mean, if now like if now Richie losing either Valorant or losing Shook here and might especially if I can see losing Valorant here, there could be a slightly chance because like your Banshee would Entovis Banshee will be fast enough to taking out the Shook, which will definitely terrorizing Shook on future on, and giving an Adoro a small chance to using any type of moves that is possible. But Wolf is in the back line. They have been a big terror, so it is a really rough position here.
Oh, Tornado comes out. It deals a good amount of damage as the Air Specialist and Hand Fan proc, of course. Beta over Perfect Jab comes out. Banshee taking a little bit of damage, but more importantly, the defense drop. Calibus will go down to the Feather Gatling from Valorant. And I believe that this Valorant is anaerobic. I think we saw that before. So this is a Feather Valorant. It is the Sweatband as well, so no buffs yet because the only thing it clicked was Feather Gatling.
Yes,
but you don't need anything more than that.
Exactly. So at this point, like I just say that I don't see how they're gonna win this, but at this point, I'm just gonna say it straight out. Like this is such a rough start already for Smvid, and that Naga have been such a terror completely, have been demolished like most of Temps here.
Energy Minute comes out. It doesn't even take out the Vola. It is that anaerobic, so no special defense drops. Hyperkinet comes out. It will take out the Adoro here, and it will most likely take itself out due to OX. Oh, it doesn't. It just lives Beta Burst onto the Mashuk. And the OX might be a blessing in disguise, actually, because that means that Smvid is only staring down one TemTeam right now because Valorant can't act. But that one TemTeam is Reignat, and Reignat can just sneeze at Banshee.
Even though that this Banshee having Tornado up, having a lot of stamina, E manipulation is not enough to taking out the Reignat. Yeah, this is not a good position at all.
So, if we think back about that turn one, I think Smvid it bamboozles itself, just stalling a little bit, right? Eating that Electro Punch, but it's not gonna matter. It's just gonna be the Beta Burst onto the Reignat. Reignat will take a little bit of damage, but massive OX, Noxious Bomb comes out, and if this doesn't take it out, then the next thing will, but it does take it out, and that was game one going to Rishi. So Rishi's still in the race of making top cut here. But what I wanted to say is I feel like the turn one might have been a little bit over predicted from Smvid because well, if he just hit the double Toxic Ink onto the Naga, that would have been big, right? But he probably was expecting the Mashuk swap and just wanted to do a little bit more fancy, and he got punished because of it.
Yeah, definitely. So I do not like disagree with what he decided to do there with the strangle.
Oh, definitely not. On paper, I love the strangle play. I think it was fantastic because there's no reason to swap out your Valorant there.
And also, I want to quick squeeze in here and say that we do have a kind of interesting prize pool. We're having a prize pool of €225, if I'm not misremembering myself, and a Panson pool of 310k Pansons as well. So it's gonna be a really beefy prize pool here for for them reaching the top 8.
Yeah, and as mentioned before, everything that will be donated or subbed or anything regarding this channel will go to development of TemTeam itself, or go to the prize pool of this tourney or future tourneys. So, thanks TemTeam and specifically Tylo for hosting this fantastic tournament. I'm loving it. I think the best of two format is fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. And I do see that the both competitors are ready and they are actually
They
in game
are
already.
going into the game already, and well, Smvid going with the same ban again, banning out the Kinu here, and Rishi looking at the same ban as well. And I don't know if Smvid wants to do the same pick ban because the entire team was weak to RightNet, and Rishi might realize this. Which is why the Madrid was banned out, right? Because the entire team would just be weak to RightNet. So I do hope we get to see Madrid, but that is very rough against Rishi's team.
Yeah, if now SMV doesn't decide to ban something that is definitely weak through the entire team, he has to really pick a different lineup here, especially the two first towns.
I think the first two were fine. I think the Gyalis ban on the second round was the problem. I think that should have been RightNet because Madrid got banned after, and then the entire squad of SMFit was just weak to RightNet. SMFit opens up with the Koish, and I like this opener a lot because Koish can lay down a lot of pain. Is it gonna be the Koish Calibus? It's weak against RightNet again. It's weak against Electro Punch. And we already saw that Koish pretty much dies to a Electro Punch but plus Beta Burst. But SMFit is going with that Calibur, is going with the semi-aggressive one. And there is no possible RightNet ban now. So it is the Vola ban, another thing that's very strong against all the waters on SMFit's team. And Mashuk and Yowler get picked up on SMFit's side. It's Barnshi for both of those. It's a very solid pickup, but man, does it feel bad to not pick up Mimit here? I think he has to, right? It's better than Ukama here, and he does pick up the Mimit.
Yeah, the Mimit here seems much more solid here, and we do see Rich here in the end picking up the Gialis here. And now we're heading in directly into the second game out of the two, between these two fine competitors. Let's dive directly into turn 1 and let's see what can we expect from that.
So this is a fine opener for SMFit. But what is gonna happen is if Calibus decides to Toxic Ink the Naga reactive viable proc, and that Water Cutting Lily won't be super effective anymore, that is rather unfortunate. Reichnet has access to Electro Punch. We already know that Electro Punch plus Taser and a Beta Burst will kill after the burn. So this Koish is not safe. And if we look at SMVid's team, his entire team once again is weak to Electro Punch, barring the Koish, but Koish is dead already if it gets Electro Punched. Naga swaps out, so no Toxic Ink, no Water Cutting Lily onto the Naga. It is that Mashuk that comes in, and Rishi just swaps it up, but Rishi also swaps out the right net here, and Gyalis comes in. And that is a very different opener from what we saw last game. Toxic Ink out onto the Mashuk, and will it be the Water Cutting Lily there as well? Oh, that would be so painful for SMFid. It is Parrier Mashuk as well. It is not the tireless Mashuk we've been seeing. Water Cutting Lily comes out. Will it be into the Mashuk or the Gialis? It will go out into the Mashuk, and that is so painful.
Yes, it is really painful to see that actually. I was hoping to see that even though... Okay, so as we know already, this Naga having the reactive vital. So if I'm attacking with the Calibus there, I'm losing the 2 times from my Koi share. So it would have, like, for me, would have made a little bit more sense. What about if I try to go aggressive directly on the Ragnite while it was
exactly. Like, we already know that even a double Toxic Ink wouldn't kill, and I doubt a Water Cutting Lily would kill if it's not super effective. SMFit swapping in the Mimit, making use of that positioning and getting his own Parrier Mashuk again, or his own Gialis, sorry, against his board. And, well, SMVid's Gialis was banned out before. Crystal Bite comes out. Mimid goes down to 45%. Humiliating slap onto the Gialis. But, well, at least he has a Gialis now. It's low, but it is a Gialis.
Definitely. Okay, so this Gallus would have been good if now Regnant were still out here, for example. But we can't really assume that Regnant will suddenly just pop out and will eating a sea bite directly in the face. But from this position, like I don't know really what SMV need to do at this point, but accepting from like if this Calibus can still stay alive and be able to get in a couple of more humiliating slap, making more useful for his Gialis here, maybe it can be a turnaround.
Yeah, so the one light for SMVid here is that Calibus. Calibus is very strong into all these physical attackers. I like this strangle. Mashuk gets strangled, so that means that Mimit will at least get off another attack here. It did outspeed, so it will get that off regardless. That Yowler, though, only took 22% from Crystal Bite. That is not an amount you want to see.
No, so it's like I have two different minds of this Mimit. It's like a bulky Mimit, but it's not bulky at all, or it just not have been invested into attack. So
I think it might just be HP speed. Because it just synergizes really well with a few of your matchups, and double synergy master with Koish will do enough damage regardless. Though all this Yowler goes for a pretty free show off as it's going up to +1 attack. Calibus has to rest because of the strangle. Rishi swapped in the Naga, and now it is a Naga Yowler board, and that is once again something you don't want to face.
but now also that you're having Barnes here on the field, like even though taking like side search, it wouldn't probably take too much damage.
God, not too much. 43% though. There's a Toxic Ink, which will proc that Reactive Vial here. But yeah, this is what I mean. Only 30% after the Reactive Vial. Savage Suplex comes down. Barnshee actually drops Side Search plus Savage enough to drop the Barnshee. And that has to feel bad. That is your answer to Yowler. You still have Fedoro, but at this point, Rishi just has a full team left.
Yeah, and that Adoro also having so low defense as well, so a 1+ Yelda would do still a lot of damage, even though if it's just half damage, so...
Yeah, there's still the +1 Yowla, right? It can Savage, or sorry, it Suplex last turn, so it has Oshidashi up. And, Adoro resists that, but it's still +1 coming from a pretty monstrous TemTeam. Calibus still full health, but Rishi's strategy of just ignoring the Calibus here is working out just fine. Oshidashi comes out. Adoro eats it, 30%. It's pretty solid, right? A pretty solid eat. Adoro goes down to 44. Beta Burst comes out onto the Yowler. And Yowler drops to a pretty worrying amount of health in 9.2%, but the Savage Suplex will come out again. Well, if he doesn't hibernate. If he wants to live, he needs to hibernate. Which could be good, right? You could just hibernate here.
Yeah, you cannot hibernate here. I tried to memorizing myself, like, okay, so how many turns had Naga been out there? So if this, or if the previous turn was the last turn, then this Yellow is going to having issues. Because
I think there is one more turn of the Seed Aura. The Mimit comes in again, and it will copy the Yowler. So, I mean, yeah, it's already almost dead, and we'll just die to this Beta Burst, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but hey, Mimit took the attack, Savage Suplex goes down onto Calibus, so this Yowler will just die now. This is dead, so that's one threat dealt with. OX, but it will die to the Toxic. Calibus rests. So now, at least Yowler is gone.
yeah.
But what do you have left on SMVid's side? You have Calibus and Adoro, or sorry, you have Koish, a full health Koish and Adoro left. So maybe the Koish is the win con here. If there is an out, it has to be the Koish, and it has to be when the Seed Aura ended. But I don't see I don't see how there's an out if there's still a Mashuk in the back and a right net.
Then the Koish and Adoro need to do a lot of work, especially like in these next 2 turns. They need to do a lot of work here, and Rich need to do like one miss predict, or just swapping one Tem and losing either Naga or something else. It's going to be devastating for Richie.
Yeah, and Adoro is the one who has to deal with the Mashuk because, well, none of Smvid's TemTeam can deal with that, but Sharp Steps comes out and it will just demolish Adoroboros. And yeah, I don't want to call it early, but I think that is a game for Rishi, and I think Rishi will take this 2-0. Or after that OX, there is no out anymore.
Yeah,
Koish comes out. It's unfortunate. Smvid made some interesting plays and made some good plays actually. I think. Just Rishi has been. Oh, look at that! Look at how much damage that did. Oh my god, that was after the 2. It was a -2, of course, but Wastewater just easily takes it out. But yeah, I think Smvid made some good plays. I think Rishi has just been playing extremely well and has just been crushing.
Yeah, especially using Nagas so well, like knowing that okay, just having like 3-4 attempts that is being super effective against Naga, but one hit and activating the vital, nah, I don't, it doesn't care anymore after that.
Yeah, and I mean that is game well played to both players. And congratulations to Rishi, who I think just manages to pass Shallow by 1 point. That means that Group B has been called as well, and it will be Ali and Rishi going on into the top 8. So congratulations to Rishi, and well played to both players. Stunning performance by Rishi here.
Oh yes, definitely. And I also want to say that even though Smvid having at least a little bit issue in this particular match, but Smvid have definitely been performing really well. Actually, like he had been grown so much from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Quarter and I called this earlier, but if you guys want to see a good match, watch the one between Smvid and Ali. That was something. Like that Smvid showed something really good there, and all power to him for well joining this tournament. Thanks for that, and thanks for just keep trying. He's been growing a lot, like you said, and I think he has had some really good performance as well in some of the matches. So power to him for being in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, I also want to say that don't feel like that. Okay, I see all of these good players out there, and they're gonna stomp me. But also at the same time, like, just even getting stomped, like, you're still learning something from that, and hopefully you can improve yourself.
Exactly.
And Smvid is absolutely a great example. Like, he came in week 1, of course, probably getting a couple of stomps, but now in week 3, he actually put up some challenge and taking actually a few points also. That's absolutely,
And
that's fantastic.
it's not just Smvid. In the other groups as well, Axolotl, Wiki Kernel, Suckly, everyone managed to grab and snag some points of the top tier players here. And as I said, that's the nature of the best of 2 format. You have to win both if you want all your points. And upsets are very likely to happen with 1-1s, and I think that makes for some great learning, and also for some great games.
Yeah, definitely. So with that, Richie made it to the top 8. So congratulations to Richie for that.
Yeah, and speaking of great games, tomorrow we're gonna have several other great games. We have Gold versus Trotter at 11:30 UTC. We have Gold Axolotls right after that, in the block after that, an hour and a half later. And a whole while later, it's going to be Luke Leo versus Zuckly. So Gold Trotter and Gold Axolotls actually is really important, because those matches are going to be, well, they're going to be telling. If Trot wins, then Trot manages to place first in the group. If Gold wins that matchup, or well, yeah, Gold has to win that matchup and then win versus Axolotls to qualify as well. So tomorrow's matches will be really important as well, especially for Group C. Luke Liu versus Suckley. I'm wondering what they're gonna bring. I'm not sure. I haven't seen their previous matches of this week, but it's not gonna change the group up anymore. But well, I'm still very excited to see that match.
Oh yes, I'm also very excited to see that as well. Like it doesn't matter who it is. Like I'm always excited to see what, even though if we have seen the team before, like you don't know what they're gonna be playing out. So hopefully, like I always say, I want to see some shenanigans out there, and when it's happened, it will blow my mind, and I can't sit still for $5.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, thanks everyone for tuning in. Even though there's a lot of TemTem content going on right now, thanks for tuning in here. It will be uploaded to YouTube as well. So to all you YouTube folks, thanks for watching, and make sure to check out the other matches on the YouTube as well. I will be here tomorrow as well, casting a lot of the matches. I think you will be as well, Genton.
Yes, I hopefully I will be casting some of them. We will see, but I will be available at least. So yes, I'm looking forward to cast as well tomorrow.
Yeah, and with that, I would like to thank everyone, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Catch you later, guys, and remember, tempt them up and do not lose.